What's up, Raiders? Welcome back. We're picking up Richie Incognito on a 1-year deal, and I'm really excited. Besides him trying to retire, getting cut from the team, being in a whole scandal, ever since the beginning of all that, I remember thinking to myself, and I don't know, maybe this is when we got Kelechi, because I think we needed a guard at the time, but I remember thinking to myself how much of a perfect fit that Richie Incognito would be for the Raiders. And I remember thinking that if it didn't happen now, it would happen at some point. He's probably going to be a Raider. And then he ended up retiring, and that whole thing was lost. Well, he's coming over. He's going to help protect Carr. It only does good things for us because we all know that everything starts in the middle, and you need to work yourself out. So if we look at the line now, from left to right, we currently have Colton Miller, Richie Incognito, Rodney Hudson, Gabe Jackson, and Trent Brown. It's ridiculous if you just look at last year. I remember right tackle has been a hole for us for like 3 years straight. We had a hole at left guard just a few days ago, so the line's looking good. You guys all know that I'm hyped about Josh Jacobs, and I know that he's going to excel from this whole thing. Carr's going to be protected, and honestly, you guys, everything starts in the middle, so this is going to be great for us as a team in general. So, welcome, Richie Incognito. It's great to have you. I was looking at some of the 2018 season's numbers, and it's kind of ridiculous how much we were lacking playmakers. And anybody can kind of tell you that, right? Anybody, if you look at it, will tell you that. I pulled up the numbers, though, and it's even more apparent than I thought. You know, too bad, so sad. We got rid of Cooper. Now I want to complain about numbers, but I didn't realize how bad it was until I looked at it. Everybody was at like 60 yards, 70 yards. We barely had anybody hit 100 yards in like any category per game. Doug Martin finally had like a 100-yard game at the end of the year. And besides those beginning ones, we'd never really hit 100 yards for like rushing or receiving. So that further just gives more proof to how much Carr had to do on his own for him to have the most yards that he's ever had, and such a lacking support group. You know, it really shows how well that he did, and that's even under a new offense too. When I went back to look at the 2018 numbers, I kind of got stuck also checking out some of the best years that Raiders have had in the past. When I look at that, Antonio Brown has a pretty good chance to get on top of that list. The best receiving season we've ever had was Tim Brown when he had 1,408 yards. That was in 1997. That's definitely Antonio Brown caliber. I think that he can hit that 1,400 yards, but that's going to have to mean that everything else works out great as well. At the moment, I'm going to put him at, like, let's say 1,200 or 1,300 yards, but if he can get up to that, I mean, even being our number 2 is great, but if he can get up to 1,408, that'd be ridiculous, and in his first year with us, he'd be the top receiving Raider that we've ever had. So that's another number to look out for throughout this year. Anything over 1,000 is obviously great, but if we can hit 1,400, that'd be killer. This one's a little bit ridiculous. So in 1985, Marcus Allen ran for 1,759 yards. And that was in 16 games. I looked at it. There was an asterisk there saying that that was including the playoffs. But it was in 16 games. So, man, that's ridiculous. That was a hell of a season for him that time. If we can hit 1,800 yards rushing ever, I mean, that'll be an amazing year for us. The next one I wanted to check out, Derek Carr's second on this list, but I had to throw in Rich Gannon. Best that he's ever done was 4,689 yards, 2002. So that said, we have some pretty high totals. I think that AB can hit 1,400. And Rich Gannon, if Carr can throw for about 4,700 yards, then you know that's a hell of a year. And this might be the time to do it. Now we have all of our weapons. Maybe it's in a few years when we have more time under this offense with Gruden, but I just wanted to take a look at some of those stretch totals for us. because some of them are possible. I think Carr and AB together for sure can hit those marks, but Marcus Allen is our number one for a reason, and he definitely killed it that year. That was 1985, so what a year for him. That's all for this video, you guys. I wanted to welcome Richie Incognito to the Raiders, and I just wanted to kind of share some of the numbers that I keep finding. We've been posting a few of these, so I'm liking kind of learning the history and just seeing what kind of benchmarks we have to hit. See you guys next time.